And I think part of what's happening in our culture is that the force that's attacking the forthright movement forward of young men in particular is afraid of the power of men, because it's confused about the distinction between power and authority and competence. Like a man who has authority and competence has power as a byproduct, but the authority and competence is everything. And people who can't understand that fail to make the distinction between power and authority and competence, and they're afraid of power, and so they destroy authority and competence. And that's a terrible thing, because we need authority and competence. What else is going to allow us to prevail in the long run?
The lost principle is the dynamic of care. What we care about on a day-to-day basis acts as the driving force of our thoughts and actions.
It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't fucking touch me, don't talk to me.
En definitiva, lo que nos salva es el juego.
Care comes first. You gotta care enough to know, to develop the knowledge. Okay? Then you gotta act on it and put it into practice. Apply it. So that's the order. Heart, mind, guts.
You have a voice as an artist. It's just getting your own confidence. And you find it just by doing it. By doing it. And when you're playing that character, that is your character, and your instincts on the character are your instincts on that character.
It doesn't matter what you call it, exactly. It doesn't matter to what it is, what it's called. It still is. And if you don't listen to it, that's the other thing. If you don't listen to it, and I've been a clinician and talked to enough people now, as old as I am, to know this absolutely. If you do not listen to that thing that beckons you forward, you will pay for it like you cannot possibly imagine. You'll have everything that's terrible about life in your life and nothing about it that's good. And worse, you'll know that it was your fault and that you squandered what you could have had.
Te propongo abandonar esas creencias y comenzar el camino del hombre superior, entendiendo la realidad no como te gustaría que sea, sino como realmente es, porque es la única chance de que puedas tener una oportunidad real de modificar la vida.
You can't make yourself interested in something. Interest manifests itself and grips you. That's a whole different thing.
So one of the ways to be more courageous is to do courageous things. And actually Aristotle says this. He says, a builder builds things, and that's how you become a builder. To become courageous and brave, you have to do courageous things. You make courage a habit. You take the risks. You force yourself to speak up, to say what you think, to do what other people are afraid to do. And then this is how, in the big moments, in the moments that it really matters, you're able to step forward, because it's part of your nature.
Conditions that you want don't just automatically manifest by thinking of them or just having a feeling about them. This is a new age deception. There are requirements for obtaining the conditions that we say we want. Requirement exists in nature. It does exist. If you want something to be different than the way that it already is, than the default conditions, then requirement exists.